New York City, the Big Apple, the city so nice they named it twice and so expensive you need a miracle to afford a shoebox apartment. The postcard image is all yellow cabs and the Brooklyn Bridge, but for most it's more struggle in the city than sex in the city. Every day is a chaotic ballet sirens, crowds, and a relentless grind. Picture this, it's 7 a.m., you're wedged into a subway car, inhaling someone else's breakfast, and the train stalls for reasons no one can explain. You finally get to work, late, just to earn enough to repeat the misery tomorrow. On your way home, you pass a gleaming glass tower, a monument to wealth, mostly empty except for the doorman. Meanwhile, a few blocks away, a family's belongings are dumped on the curb, evicted, their memories scattered on the street. This isn't a movie set, it's New York in 2025. Here, obscene wealth and desperate poverty share the same block. The dream of making it is being replaced by the reality of just holding on. The city isn't just changing, it's pushing people out. The old promise, come here, work hard, and you can achieve anything. Now it feels like a cruel joke. The ladder of opportunity. Most of the rungs have been sold off. What's left is a city that increasingly serves only the ultra-rich. For everyone else, the people who make the city run, New York is an exhausting, one-sided relationship. It takes everything you have and gives just enough back to keep you hoping. But for how much longer? That's the question every New Yorker is asking. Let's do some quick, painful math. In 2024, the median rent for a one-bedroom in Manhattan is over $4,500 a month. That's not for a palace, it's for a glorified closet. Citywide, the median rent is $3,500. Meanwhile, the minimum wage is $16 an hour. Work full-time, no days off, and you'll make about $2,773 a month before taxes. That's less than the rent. So to live where you work, you'd need to spend more than 100% of your income on rent, leaving nothing for food, transport, or anything else. The 30% of income on housing rule? Pure fantasy here. Most New Yorkers are severely rent-burdened, spending over half their income just to keep a roof overhead. This isn't a rare hardship, it's the norm. People survive by working multiple jobs, living with roommates into their 40s, or commuting hours from distant suburbs. The city runs on the exhaustion of its workforce. The deal? Give us your time, energy, and health, and we'll let you barely exist here. The promise of New York has become a brutal transaction. For most, it's not living, it's barely hanging on, and the numbers don't lie. If regular people can't afford to live here, who's buying all the property? The answer, not families, but faceless entities, shell companies, private equity, and real estate trusts. These aren't homes, they're investments, safer than gold. This is called financialization, turning housing into a speculative commodity. Your home becomes a line in a hedge fund's spreadsheet. Corporate landlords care about one thing, profit. That means raising rents, cutting maintenance, and evicting long-term tenants for higher-paying newcomers. When you negotiate your lease, you're up against a management company, an asset manager, and a fund in another country. Your leaky ceiling is just an expense to minimize. These companies can buy entire blocks, wielding power over thousands of tenants. Meanwhile, tax laws reward them with loopholes and subsidies. The infamous 421 tax break gave developers huge incentives to build luxury housing, not homes for regular people. So, while you pay your taxes, the system makes your city less affordable. In New York real estate, the house always wins. And the people? They're left out in the cold. Every statistic hides a human story, a life uprooted, a dream lost. The most visible tragedy: record homelessness. Over 100,000 people, including thousands of children, are in city shelters. Many were once stable until a landlord sold the building, a job was lost, or a medical bill hit. Essential workers, nurses, teachers, sanitation staff are pushed to the city's edges, commuting hours each day. They lose time, money, and quality of life just to keep the city running. A city that can't house its own workers is failing at its core. The crisis is erasing New York's culture. Independent bookstores, family restaurants, dive bars, and small theaters are being replaced by chain stores and banks. The city's unique character is being bleached out, one block at a time. Artists and musicians, the soul of New York, have been priced out for years. The creative energy that made neighborhoods famous has moved on, or left the city entirely. Without artists, New York becomes a museum of itself, a sterile playground for the rich. The human cost is the slow death of everything that made this city special. It's not just about numbers, it's about losing the city's soul. And that loss is felt every day. The city is dying by 1,000 rent hikes. Walk through Midtown at night, especially Billionaires Row, and look up. You'll see darkness, skyscrapers with barely any lights on. These ghost towers are filled with multi-million-dollar apartments, mostly empty. They're not homes, they're safety deposit boxes in the sky for the global elite. Owners are hidden behind LLCs. Some visit for a few weeks a year, if at all. These empty towers contribute nothing to city life. Meanwhile, families are homeless and workers can't afford to live nearby. Developers build luxury because it's more profitable than affordable housing. The skyline is shaped by global capital, not by the needs of New Yorkers. The existence of these ghost towers is the ultimate symbol of a broken system. Billions in real estate sit empty while the city's people struggle. It's not just bad policy, it's a social sickness. The city's glittering towers are monuments to inequality. Why isn't anything changing? Because real estate money runs New York politics. Developers and landlords pour millions into campaign coffers, buying influence at every level. It's not old-school bribery. It's legal, sophisticated, and effective. Politicians who challenge the system risk losing funding and elections. The result, policies that favor developers, not tenants. Even affordable housing programs are riddled with loopholes and weak definitions. The area median income metric is skewed, making affordable units unaffordable for most. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed for those at the top. The public is left out, watching the merry-go-round of money and power. Real reform is blocked at every turn. The city's wounds are patched with band-aids while the patient keeps bleeding, and the cycle continues. Let's talk zoning, the invisible rules shaping the city. Much of New York is zoned for low-density single-family homes, especially in wealthy neighborhoods. This exclusionary zoning bans new apartment buildings, restricting supply and driving up prices. Wealthy homeowners fight to preserve neighborhood character, often code for keeping others out. When new development is allowed, it's usually in poorer areas, leading to gentrification and displacement. So, in rich areas, nothing gets built in poor areas. Only luxury towers go up. The solution? Reform zoning to allow more multifamily housing citywide. But powerful homeowner groups fiercely oppose change, framing it as a threat to their way of life. Politicians, fearing backlash, avoid real reform. The result? A city stuck with outdated rules that make the crisis worse. The rulebook is broken, and so is the city. Until zoning changes, nothing else will, and the suffering continues. If nothing changes, New York's future is bleak. The city will split in two, the ultra-wealthy and luxury bubbles, and everyone else pushed to the margins. The social fabric, the mixing of people, the energy of the streets, will unravel. New York will become a gilded cage, surrounded by a sea of the excluded. The vibrant, chaotic spirit will be replaced by sterile order. Extreme inequality breeds instability and resentment. We already see the tension, rent strikes, protests, anger simmering on the streets. A city that works only for the rich is a ticking time bomb. The idea of New York as a beacon of hope will become a memory. The city is selling its soul for profit, becoming a theme park for tourists and a vault for global capital. Real life, the messy, beautiful, complicated city, will disappear. And what's left won't be New York at all. So that's New York, a brilliant, broken city pricing out its own people. From impossible rents to faceless landlords and a political system greased by real estate money, the outlook is grim. The human cost, evictions, homelessness, endless commutes, and the slow death of culture. This isn't just gentrification, it's a global finance takeover. The city's architecture and politics reflect deep inequality. And it's not just New York. Cities worldwide face the same crisis. The battle for our cities is a battle for justice and equity. So ask yourself, could you afford to move to your own city today? Look at the new buildings, the closing shops, the rising rents. If the answer is no, you have a problem. This isn't just New York's story, it's yours too. The future of our cities depends on what we do next. The question is, will we fight for them or let them slip away?